Krishna, Radhe Radhe, Dandava Pranam. Welcome to Shri Radha Vinodihari Mandir and Shri Gopinath Bhavan, Shri Vrindavan. Shri Gurudev ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Pandi Guru Varga ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nand ki jai, Prem Pushtam Sachinandana Gaur Hari ki jai, Shri Radha Vinodihari Ju ki jai, Radha Ranju ki jai, Giriraj Maharaja ki jai, Hari Naam Sankirtan ki jai, Hari Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So we will begin with Mangalacharan, Dandava Pranama Vaisnavas. Mangalacharan, page 1 of this book, Shri Gauriya Giti Kucha, Vandeham Shri Yuttapadakamanam.
Saraswati Namine
हर्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाभये कृष्णा सम्बन्ध विज्ञान दयिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्ज्वल प्रेमध्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिदा श्रीगौरकरुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोऽस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्ते दिनकारिणे रूपानुगम्यरूपापो सिद्धान्तध्वन्तहारिणे नो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराम्यमूर्तये विप्रालम्बरसंदोहे पदम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्तिविनोदाय स्वच्छिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सजनप्रिया वैष्णव सर्वभौमश्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरद्विषे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जयतं सुरतोपङ्गो मम मन्दं मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वं पदम्बोज राधामदनमोहनो दिव्यवृन्दारण्यकल्पद्रुमद श्रीमद्रत्नागारसिंहासनस्थो श्री श्रीराधा श्रीगोविन्ददेवं प्रेष्ठादिभिः सेव्यमानो स्मरामि श्रीमन्द्रसरसारम्भे वंशिरततस्थितः कर्षन्मेरुस्वरैर्गोति गोपीनाथ श्रीयेस्तु नः वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्यै प्रियायै केशवस्य च कृष्णा भक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द चेतो दर्पणमार्जनं भवमहादावग्निर्वापनम् श्रेयकैरवचन्द्रिका वितरणो विद्यावधूजीवनम् आनन्दं बुद्धिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णामृतास्वादनं सर्वात्मस्वपरं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्णसङ्कीर्तनम् Jai Jai Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru, page 29. Jayaysriguru. Jai Jai Shri Guru. Hari Hari, Kave Mor, Have Heno Dino, page 41. Hari, Kave, Kabemora. Hari Hari, Kave Mor. 41. 41.
Go.
Yam Kalirupa Sharira Nadharata. Nadharata. Page 47, YANKALIRUPA. And if you don't have a songbook, sorry, page 47, if you don't have a songbook, Jiva Bhavana Prabhu is mercifully sharing the bhajans within the thread. So just scroll down to the latest and you'll see what Jiva Bhavana Prabhu has shared and you can sing along with us.
Thank you, Jiva Bhavana Prabhu. Dandavad.
Dandavad. And now we will call for the mercy of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Jai Jai Nityananda Rohini Kumar.
Page 64.
Page 64 by Sri Vrindavan Das Thakur. So 64, Jai Jai Nityananda Rohini Kumar, and Jiva Pavana Prabhu will post it there in case you don't have the lyrics. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumar Jaya Jaya Nityananda Rohini Kumar Patita Udharo Rami Dubahu Sata Patita Udharo Rami Gada Madhura Madhuraya Bhola Jare dekhe Hare preme Hori deya Mola Jare dekhe Hare preme Bhagavatamrita Sanskrit, page 338. Pashya Shachi Sutam Anupamarupam. P-A-S-Y-A. Shachi, S-A-C-I. Sutam, S-U-T-A-M. By Srila Mohan 338. And Jiva Pavana Prabhu will post it. Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Kalitamrita Rasa Nirupam Arupam Kalitamrita Rasa Nirupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Krishna Krito Manasatapam Krishna Krito Manasatapam Kriya Prakatito Rudra Pratapam Kriya Prakatito Rudra Pratapam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Prakalita Purusho Tapasu Vishadam Prakalita Purusho Tapasu Vishadam Kamalakara Kamolanchitapadam Kamalakara Kamolanchitapadam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Rohitavadanam Tirohitavasham Rohitavadanam Tirohitavasham Radha Mohano Kritacharanasham Radha Mohano Kritacharanasham Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Anupam Arupam Kalitamrita Rasa Nirupam Arupam Kalitamrita Rasa Nirupam Arupam Asya Shachi Sutam Yes, so because it could not be found, I'm going to read the translation. This is by Sri Radha Mohan Das. Behold the unparalleled beauty of the son of Mother Shachi. He is an incomparable reservoir of nectarian rasa. Tortured by the pangs of separation that arise in his mind due to his intense attachment to Krishna, he manifests the most exquisite yet terrifying pastimes of ecstasy. Totally absorbing himself in thoughts of the Supreme Being, Lord Jagannath, he constantly experiences the pain of separation. Yet he is that very same Supreme Personality whose adorable feet are decorated by the lotus hands of Kamala. Transformations of ecstasy appear in his body. His face becomes intensely flushed and his voice falters. This Radha Mohan Das is simply hoping to attain his lotus feet. Shri Shachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Jaya Jaya Sundarananda Kumar. And that one is in JK songs. And that one is in the songbook on page 344. 344. Jaya Jaya Sundara Nanda Kumar. Radhanam Paramasukadaya. Page 362 in the songbook, Radhanam Paramasukadaya. Radhanama Paramasukadaya. Rama Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tatale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Uttar Bhaktaya Namo Namah Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namah Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Namine Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitya Namine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Nangayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam. First of all, I offer my Dandava Pranam thousands of times with the dust of the lotus feet of our beloved Gurudev, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaja. In the same thousands of Dandava Pranam, at the dust of the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, astottara Shri Srimad Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to our Rupanuga Gauri Guru Varga, and to all Vaishnavas past, present and future, including all of those who are present with us today, I offer you my Dandava Pranam. Already questions relating to yesterday's questions, but first I must address something. A couple of devotees have mentioned that when I spoke about tilak yesterday, one thing, I didn't realize that she had it on her face. There was only a little bit left, but the temperature Outside is about 104 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what in Celsius? I don't know. And extremely humid, like 75% humidity. It's ready to rain and storm at any moment. So if you put fresh tilak on and you're in that weather, it comes right off. So I didn't see it. Why did I mention it? Because we are here as representatives of our Srila Gurudev, presenting his teachings and the teachings of our parampara. And so usually, when we do any program, we always have fresh tilak on, and I didn't see that she had any tilak on, so I mentioned it. But then I also mentioned some shlokas, some verses from Hari Bhakti Vilas and other locations about tilak. And in there, I spoke that, which is what the Shastra spoke, that you do not get all of the benefit of your activities in bhakti if you are not wearing tilak. So there are many examples of this, and probably everywhere we've gone, at least over the last 20 years, at least one of our classes has been about tilak. Each location we go to. And there's a reason for it. Because in Srimad Bhagavatam, both Prahlad Maharaj, and there's another verse, I think it's Rahugana. So there, Maharaj Rahugana is speaking. And there it says, Bina Mahat Padarajo Vishekam. And Prahlad is also telling his father Hiranyakashipu the same thing. Without smearing oneself or bathing oneself in the dust of the feet of the pure devotees, one will not actually, truly be able to ascertain or understand spiritual subject matter. So, how do we reconcile this with maybe someone who has never heard of tilak before, or someone who may not have it with them at the moment? What is tilak? Why is it so important? And if we don't have access to it, how can we get it either physically or by heart? So first of all, I want to speak about the heart aspect, because it is the exception to the rule, but it is still a possibility, and it is there. And I'm going to speak about it in terms of guru, because we also understand that without accepting guru in one's life, one will be baffled in their attempt, like a ship without a rudder. So if a ship has no rudder and the wind is blowing and the waves are moving, but there's no rudder, then you cannot maintain your course. So guru is necessary. So if I have not yet received a guru, does that mean that all of my activities on the path of bhakti are completely useless? That my chanting or any endeavors are useless? No. It does not mean that. It means that by my endeavor, I am calling that mercy to come to me. So by my calling out, Hare Krishna, I'm praying to Krishna, please be merciful to me. I need help. And that help manifests in the form of Guru and comes to us. And Guru again gives us Harinam. So maybe our friend told us about Hare Krishna, or we read it in a book. We're like, wow, Hare Krishna is amazing. But then when Guru comes, Guru activates. By his own or her own bhakti, they activate our chanting of Hare Krishna. Most of us were chanting Hare Krishna before we received initiation, right? Usually that's the process. We're chanting, we're praying, right? They make you chant for, 1 year or at least 6 months, 16 rounds a day, and then Guru comes and gives you initiation and tells you to chant a minimum of 16 or 4 or 32 or 64, whatever Guru sees fit. So one time our Gurudev mentioned that if we are in complete ignorance and we have no idea about God or anything, but we find in this world that I'm experiencing the miseries of this world, adi-atmic, miseries caused by my own mind and my own body, adi-bautic, miseries caused by other living entities, adi-daivic, miseries caused by the demigods, what they call acts of God or acts of nature, hurricanes, floods, tornadoes, etc. All of these things. And I don't know any better, and I pick up a straw in the street and I begin praying. Please, God, if you are here, wherever you are, please hear my prayer. I need help. I want to know the truth. Srila Gurudev explained that through that medium, because God's energy is present everywhere, God will hear that prayer and will arrange for increasing sadhu sangha, increasing association for us to progress. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upayanti te. I will give the understanding by which they will come to me. So once we come to the path of bhakti, especially Rupanuga bhakti, there are some things which should become second nature. I don't know why I said second nature. It should be first nature, but it should be like automatic. And one of those things is taking shelter of those substances which will bring us away from our mayic attachment, our attachment to the illusion of this world, and turn us and focus us toward the attachment and attraction to love and serve Krishna. And the three things are mentioned by Mahaprabhu, which I've told before. Bhakta Padatuli, the dust from the feet of the pure devotees. Ar Bhakta Padajal, the water which has washed their feet. Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh, the remnants of their foodstuffs. Etin Mahabal, these things are extremely powerful. So tilak, what we place on our foreheads and up here, Lalate Keshavaktyaya Narayan Namatodare, like this, all of the different places on our body, forehead, navel, heart, throat, right side, lower arm here, shoulder, left side, this side, shoulder, upper back, lower back, and the top of your head. We have mantras for all of them. Om Keshavaya Namah, Om Narayanaya Namah, Om Madhavaya Namah, Om Govindaya Namah, Om Vishnave Namah, Om Madhusudanaya Namah, Om Trivikramaya Namah, Om Vamanaya Namah, Om Sridharaya Namah, Om Hrishikeshaya Namah, Om Padmanabhaya Namah, Om Damodaraya Namah, Om Vasudevaya Namah. Some people say it's like a shield. It can be a shield, but really, why are we putting this tilak on? Because the tilak which we have received is known as Gopi Chanda, and it is the foot dust of the gopis. It is the most sought after and desirable thing in the entire creation. Krishna himself is desperately seeking that dust. So much so that when he's in Dwarka, he manifests the pastime of having a headache. And no one in Dwarka will give him their foot dust, which he says is the only cure for my headache. They tried everything else, all doctors came, they were all unsuccessful. Finally, he was asked, what is the, we have no other choice, we don't know what to give you. He said, only the dust from the feet of my pure devotees, this will cure my headache. So Narada Muni was deputed. I've read this story many different times from different acharyas. And so from that I have received from Srila Prabhupada in some details here and some details there. So Narada Muni was deputed to find that pure devotee who will give their foot dust for Krishna's head. The problem is, in Dwarka, there's so much Aishwarya Gyan, knowledge of the opulence, the majesty, and the greatness of Dwarkadish Krishna. They understand that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is worshipped by the prayer, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. They understand, and he frequently manifests his four-armed form in Dwarka. So they understand that he is like Narayan. He is God, and they worship him as such. So when Narada Muni approached, first he went to the queens of Dwarka. You are certainly Krishna's devotees. Of course we are. Sure we are. Would you give your foot dust for his head? But he's Bhagavan, and he's our husband. In either case, we will go to hell. No, we cannot give our foot dust for Krishna's head. Narada Muni thought, uh-oh. Then he went to all the other Dwarkavasis. Will you give your foot dust for Krishna's head? And their mood was such, no, we cannot do this. We will go to hell, and how can we give our foot dust to Krishna? He's our Prabhu. This would be against all dharma, all etiquette. It would be aparad. We cannot do this. So Narada Muni went back to Krishna empty-handed, no foot dust. Looked at Krishna, what can I do? And Krishna just told him, go to Vrindavan. So Narada Muni went to Vrindavan. Upon arriving even in the vicinity of Vrindavan, the gopis were still waiting on the border. They won't cross the border. They don't want to leave Vrindavan. So they're waiting there in deep separation from Krishna, because Krishna promised, I will return in 2 days or 4. And so they're waiting for him in great anticipation for years and years and years, in deep separation, feeling that each moment is like yugas. But they saw Narada Muni coming from the direction of Krishna. Immediately they offered their pranam and asked him, "Have you seen Krishna?" "Yes, yes, I have seen Krishna." "How is he? What is he doing? What's going on?" "Oh, just now he has a very severe headache." Immediately these gopis, they felt, see, their mood is such that they would gladly go to hell for millions of years as long as Krishna is happy. They don't want any pain or anything to come to him, any disturbance whatsoever. That's why they will not give up their lives. That's why they're waiting there in such a state of separation, maintaining their lives so that they don't cause any disturbance or disruption to Krishna. If he were to come there and find that they had all passed away, then his heart would break. So they didn't want to give him that heartbreak. Rather, they were taking this pain of separation unto themselves. So Narada Muni told them he has a headache, and they were so concerned. "Is there anything we can do?" And Narada Muni said, "Well, actually," he said that the only cure for his headache is the dust from the feet of his devotees. "Will you give your foot dust for Krishna's headache?" And they were so humble. They were feeling, oh, we can't really be his devotees because he says, "Mad bhakta yatra gayanti." He tells Narada that wherever my devotees congregate and chant my names and remember me, I am fully present there. But here we are congregated and chanting his names and remembering him, but he's not present with us. They're feeling this. Although he is, but they feel that he's not. This is humility. So they were thinking, we're not really his devotees, but we have affection for him. Maybe collectively all 3 million or however many of the gopis there were at that place, collectively all of us together might equal one devotee. This was their humility. Immediately they sat down in the dust of Braj and began rubbing that dust in their feet and collecting it into a big pile. So simple, so soft-hearted. And by Narada Muni's mystic power, he collected that dust. And as he was about to leave, he asked, "Aren't you afraid of going to hell?" They said, "Hell? Hell is when Krishna is not happy. Hell is when Krishna is not satisfied. We would gladly go to hell for all eternity, for millions of lifetimes, as long as Krishna is happy." And Narada Muni saw, oh, this is why I was sent, to see the greatness of their love. How selfless it is. So Narada Muni brought this dust back to Krishna in Dwarka. Krishna, seeing this dust, immediately he began crying tears of separation and reciprocation for their selfless service. It was carrying their bhav, their mood of selfless service. And his tears mixed with that dust and it became like mud, like clay. And he took that and he smeared it over his whole body. In that very moment, everything that they wanted to tell him about their hearts, the nature of their hearts, he was experiencing. And his reciprocation with his tears, everything he also wanted to tell them, they were feeling within their hearts. What remained of this tilak was kept in a very special place in Dwarka, and to this day, all of the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu himself, but all take shelter of this particular form of foot dust, known as Gopi Chandan, which is found in Dwarka. Why? Because it is the victory flag of Srimati Radhika and the gopis over all others. It's like I'm wearing this on my forehead to show that the gopis, especially Srimati Radhika, are supremely victorious over all others. All other forms and all other personalities, love and affection for Krishna, theirs is so selfless that this pastime, Krishna himself manifested this pastime to receive their foot dust. What to speak of the benefit that we can receive by that foot dust. Hari Bhaktivedanta says, simply by seeing tilak, just by seeing it, one's samsara is cut. It may be that the fan is still spinning, but it has been unplugged. Gradually it will wind down. Like seeing the chakra on top of the temple. Your samsara is cut. So it begins to wind to a halt. Your material rotation through birth, disease, old age, and death since time immemorial, that begins to slow down and come to an end. Just by seeing tilak. And by placing it on our bodies, we are making ourselves a suitable candidate for receiving transcendental subject matter. In fact, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was Nimai Pandit, used to send his students away if they did not have tilak on, because he knew you did not properly perform all of your morning duties. What was that? Before chanting one's mantras, Diksha mantras, it's required that one bathes, one puts on fresh clothing, one puts on fresh tilak, and then they sit facing the appropriate direction and chant their Diksha mantras. So if he saw that they didn't have tilak, he would send them away and say, you should come back properly. Means do all of your morning duties and then come back. So what if we're in a situation where we cannot do such a thing, where we cannot take shelter of the dust of the gopis because we don't have it in our house? We do, we just don't realize it. If Tulsi Devi is there, we can take some dust, touch that dust and touch our head. This doesn't mean that we should not wear tilak. Some people just put on water, but water is not the same as the foot dust of the devotees. No, it is said that at the base of Tulsi, Vrindavan is there, and Vrindavan is glorious, especially because the gopis' foot dust is everywhere. So then, that foot dust, where can I get it? It may be that we have a picture of any pure devotee, our Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, our Param Guru, Srila Govinda Maharaj, some pure devotee, they are also gopis. And we can place our head at their feet and beg them to be merciful to us. And then begin any practice. And if we can't even do that physically, if we don't have anything, then by mind and by heart, we can place our heads on their feet and beg for their mercy. And gradually, this will bring within our hearts a greed, a desire for attaining that substance, Gopi Chanda. If we are really praying sincerely from the core of our heart, we will become greedy for those things which increase our desire and our tendency to serve Krishna. That is the root qualification for bhakti. Krishna bhakti rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yadikitopi labhyate tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam janma koti shukritarna labhyate. Millions of births of doing good activities in this world, feeding the poor, opening up free hospitals and clinics, giving in charity, and doing so many things. Helping that person and this group and doing this and that. All of these things, millions of lifetimes. Janma koti shukritar na labhyate. Millions of births of doing good things in this world will not give us the qualification for the attainment of Krishna Bhakti Ras. What is the root qualification for that? Tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam. The only qualification for Krishna Bhakti Ras is the intense, greedy desire to have it. And where can that be had? That can be had by the association of sadhus. Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha. Again, this word mool or mulyam and mool means root. By sadhu sangha, by those whose hearts are burning with this greed to serve Krishna, by being in their association, we will also awaken within our hearts that kind of greed. And by being in the association of sadhus, we will also understand something of the potency of this foot dust. Sudevi,
Yes?
you want to tell about the foot dust of the gopis, what Srila Gurudev said?
Sorry, I'm not
Okay. And Srila Gurudev explained that why is this foot dust so glorified and so sought after? We always talk about dust, the dust of the feet of the gopis. Uddhava is praying, Ashamaho charunarenu rishamahansham wants to become a blade of grass. He wants to become any tree, any shrub, any bush, so that even one particle of dust from the feet of any gopi will come on his head. Bande nanda braje strinam padarenum abhikshnasham. Padarenum means the dust from their lotus feet. It is so sought after, as I explained, that Krishna himself is also greedy for that. What does he say to Srimati Radhika? Smara garala kandanam mamashira shimandanam dehi padapalavamudaram. Please be merciful to me and give me the dust of your lotus feet. Krishna is begging for this. What to speak of all the bhaktas, all of the devotees, all are praying for this. Shri Guru Charana Padma, the lotus feet of our spiritual master, Kevala Bhakati Sadma, are the only way by which we can attain pure bhakti. So our spiritual master is coming in this line of Srila Rupa Goswami. In the line of Rupa Goswami, meaning they are Rupa. It means they are also expert at assisting the gopis in serving Radha and Krishna in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, our Srila Gurudev, all of our Guru Varga have explained that our Rupa and Guru Varga, they are gopis serving Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. So if we take shelter of the dust of their lotus feet, maybe put their book on our head. If we cannot get physical tilak, by begging them for shelter and making an endeavor, then the greed, the desire to receive that transcendental substance will manifest in our heart. It's not that we should think everything is useless. When we hear about that, if all of the endeavors I make in bhakti won't have the same potency if I don't wear tilak, this shouldn't make us hopeless. This should make us greedy. I want that magic dust. It is magic. It's transcendental. It is radiating. Srimad Bhagavatam says that from the transcendental body of the pure devotee, saffron particles are emanating. What is that? Saffron particles. Really, that is from Krishna and from the gopis. They are delivering this Harikatha, and Harikatha is delivering us. Excuse me. So Srila Gurudev explained, why do we give so much emphasis to the dust? The dust. He said on a full moon night, Sharad Purnima, Krishna, feeling deep separation from Srimati Radhika, was calling out to her through the holes of his flute, Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. In separation from you, without you, I will die. I cannot maintain my life. We say this to Guru, Karuna na hoile kandiya kandiya prana nara kivoa. Without you, without your mercy, weeping and weeping, I will not be able to maintain my life. Krishna was feeling this kind of separation from the manifestation of his own heart. Rishabhananandini Srimati Radhika, Radhe, Radhe, playing through his flute. He has different flutes. And even if he plays in the same flute, if his mood is calling for the cowherd boys, it brings them. If it's calling for his cows, it brings them. But this time it is calling for his gopis. Gurudev explained that the flute, Bangshi, Venu, is so powerful that it can even do what Krishna himself cannot do. He cannot sneak into the homes of all of the gopis, but his flute song can. No one else heard it. It was meant for Srimati Radhika. But Ananda Chinmaya Rasat Pratibhavita Vistarviya Eva Nijarupataya Kalabhi Goloka Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. All of these gopis are manifestations of her own moods of love and affection for Krishna. So Gurudev and our Vaisnava acharyas explained that that flute song entered into the homes of all of those gopis and began knocking on the door of their ears. And then it entered into their hearts. What did it do? It stole their hearts and quickly ran back to Krishna. Srila Gurudev explained, no matter what you are doing, no matter in what condition you're in, if your heart is stolen, if your greatest treasure is stolen, you won't think about anything else. You will begin to chase that thief. Who has stolen my greatest treasure? So no matter what they were doing, Srila Gurudev and our acharyas, Bhagavatam explained that some were engaged in churning yogurt. Some were engaged in taking care of small children. Some were cooking for their husbands. Some were cleaning. Some were decorating themselves. Some were massaging their husbands. So many duties and household chores they were doing. That very moment, they all heard and felt, Krishna's calling me. It's an emergency. He feels that he will die without me. And my treasure has just been stolen. And they stopped whatever they were doing with an intense eagerness and greed to serve Krishna for his happiness, for his pleasure, for his benefit. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. By the millions, they began running toward the call, the cause of that flute call, the cause of that flute song, the heart thief. They began running by the millions. And as they were running, their feet were stomping in the dust of Vrindavan by the millions. And that great eagerness to serve Krishna was leading echoes of this bhav. I need to serve Krishna. They could not help themselves, and that mood was being impressed into the dust by the millions. So Srila Gurudev said this Braja dust is enough for us to engender, means to awaken greed, transcendental desire to serve Krishna within our hearts. So the dust from the feet of Krishna's pure devotees, especially his gopis, this is the best, most powerful substance. And it is so powerful, especially from the feet of Srimati Radhika, in Radha Rasa Shuddha Nidhi, I think it's verse 1 or 2, the dust of the feet of Srimati Radhika is compared to Vasikaran Churna. That means a special kind of dust that anyone who does magic would know, like Tantra. You just put a drop of a certain kind of dust on their clothes, and immediately they're completely controlled by you. Some people practice this art in India. Srimati Radhika's foot dust acts like this for Krishna. Completely subjugated by her. He is Madan Mohan. Millions of cupids faint just at the idea of his beauty. But she is Madan Mohan Mohini. That person from whom, from his beauty, millions of cupids faint. He himself faints just at the thought of her beauty. He himself feels fortunate just upon receiving a distant fragrance that the wind is carrying from her cloth. He feels, I am so fortunate. Today I have achieved this extreme fortune. He receives that dust. In fact, he also has a special symbol on his forehead. When she sees that symbol, you know, if one is sweating in desperation and they're putting their head on the ground at the feet of her maidservants, Radhika Dasira Krishna Sarva Vede Bole, all Vedas say that Krishna becomes the property of the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, begging for her darshan. He gets this, I don't know if you've seen it on Parikrama, when we're all sweaty and we're putting our head in the dust and offering pranam, and all the devotees have this big emblem of Braj dust on our forehead. It looks like the sun. When Srimati Radhika sees this on Krishna's forehead, she becomes so overjoyed. Wow! How he's endeavoring. And this makes Krishna even more happy. So coming back to the point of tilak. If we cannot acquire it, we should develop greed to acquire it. That substance is so powerful that even if we have no inclination for bhakti, if we just do that much in a day, this will can very easily reverse our causeless unwillingness. And Prahlad Maharaj tells his father the same thing. Naishamatishtavad urukramangri Bina mahat padrajo vishekam. I can't remember the whole verse at this moment. Please forgive me. Again and again and again we see this echoed through all Shastra. Without bathing oneself in the dust of the feet of the pure devotees, we will not be able to actually understand transcendental subject matter. So in the meantime, what can we do? One, Gurudev ordered us, don't be hopeless. So hopelessness is out of the question. Gurudev gave the order, it's out of the question. So then what can we do? We have our japamala. We've been given that by our Gurudev. We have pictures of our Gurudev and Vaishnavas. We have the books. We place our heads there at the feet of the gopis. Their feet in the picture are also their feet. Srila Gurudev, transcendental personalities are non-different. Also from their pictures. Therefore we worship their picture. And through their picture we call their presence. Please come, please make the offering to Radha and Krishna. We offer Achman. We offer the bhog. So we can touch the lotus feet of Sri Guru. We can take this picture and place on our heads. Like that. We can touch our head to the lotus feet of Sri Guru, understanding that this is also tilak. And then we can pray and chant. And there are other substances. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur mentioned that one can also use ordinary clay. But it's better to use Radha Kuntilak. At Radharaman temple they use ash from the fire which Gopal Bhatta Goswami originally lit to worship and cook for Radharaman. So they all have that one black line. Many people wear Radha Kuntilak. But for us, for those who are coming in the line of Mahaprabhu, wearing this Urdhva Pundra, this shape of tilak that we wear from Dwarka, Gopi Chandan. This really establishes Srimati Radhika and the gopis as the supreme, topmost beloveds of Krishna. Ramya Kachidupasana Brajavadu Vargena Yakalpita. The topmost upasana or method of pleasing the Lord is that of the young gopis of Braj. So taking shelter of their foot dust. This is supremely beneficial. But another thing, taking shelter of their foot dust in such a way that increases and enhances their glory more and more. This is what a real servant always wants to do for their master. They always want to increase the glory of their master. Ebe Jash Bhushu Tribhuvan. Oh my Gurudev, your glory should be spread throughout the three worlds. Ebe Jash means fame. So your fame should be spread throughout the three worlds. Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj explains that it doesn't just spread itself by itself. How does it spread? It should not spread just because I'm saying your fame should be spread. By my activities, by my behavior, by my representation of my Gurudev, by my sharing of the teachings, the conceptions, the observances of my Gurudev. This is how my Gurudev's fame will be spread throughout the three worlds. So it becomes a personal responsibility. Very practical, very down to earth, very at home. Yes, I will become that medium by which my Gurudev's glories and fame will be spread throughout the three worlds. All disciples should aspire for this. And in the same way, by wearing that Gopi Chandan Tilak, this is showing all transcendental personalities throughout the entire creation, including Krishna himself, the victory of the gopis and Srimati Radhika, even over Krishna. Vrishabhavanandini Srimati Radharani ki jai. So, why do we wear tilak? For so many reasons that I've already mentioned. But when we do spiritual things, we should make that endeavor. That we want everything to have maximum benefit. And if anything can increase my spiritual benefit, then I should take advantage of that. That is called anukul yasya sankalpa. To make a firm resolution. It's the first principle of surrender, sharanagati. I'm making a firm resolution that I will accept everything favorable into my life that will increase my seva vritti, my tendency, my desire to serve and please Krishna for His happiness, His pleasure, His benefit. I will accept that into my life. So I will observe Ekadashi. Why? Because that is maximized 1,000 times on that day. And then I will also observe Kartik Vrat. During Kartik, whatever we do is also maximized 1,000 times. I will come to the holy place and I will go and hear Harikatha, the glories of Krishna and His devotees in the Dham from the lips of the pure Vaishnavas. Then it's maximized another 1,000 times. So think about it. If we come to Vrindavan, 1,000 times. During Kartik, 1,000 times. And follow Ekadashi, 1,000 times. 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. It's 1 billion. Anything we do favorable for bhakti is maximized 1 billion times. And this is an idea.
Earthquake.
We have an earthquake. Hare Krishna. Well, we should be discussing the foot dust of the gopis during an earthquake. That is the highest, most supreme thing to be meditating on. I didn't even notice. I just thought I was getting dizzy. Huh? I should feel it more. I thought I was just feeling dizzy. So,
Foot dust.
Always foot dust. This is for us one of the most important things. Bhakta Padaduli ar Bhakta Padajal Bhakta Bhukta Avashesh Etin Mahaval. Extremely powerful substances. This foot dust we are greedy for because this will awaken greed to serve Krishna in our hearts. So if anything can maximize our inclination on the path of bhakti, we should embrace that. That's why we follow Chaturmasya, which some started on Ekadashi and we start on Purnima. It's okay. Hari Bhakti Vilas says either one is okay. This is Shastra, so we can start from Purnima, which is in a couple of days. That's the full moon. We will start Chaturmasya. Why do we observe what we observe during these 4 months and then Purushottam month this year? So 5 months of Chaturmasya. But now it's Panchamasya, Purushottam Mas. Actually, Purushottam Mas is not considered a month. Technically, it's a leap month. So it's still called Chaturmasya, even though there's an extra month added, because it is called Purushottam month. Some people call it Malmas, which means a bad month. It's considered inauspicious. Many people in India don't do anything in terms of bhakti during that month. But our Gaudiya Guru Varga say, that's ridiculous. We should always take shelter of the process of bhakti, always chant the holy names of Krishna, always serve Krishna. Are you not going to take care of Thakurji during that month? Are you not going to offer your food during that month? Will you not take shelter of Harinam during that month? What if you die during that month? Better to make it auspicious. So this month is claimed by Krishna, Purushottam month, and we worship this month as we would worship Krishna. Gaudiya Vaishnava perspective is all about maximizing one's inclination to serve Krishna. Whatever will increase that, Krishna, this thirst for serving and loving Krishna, this is something we will embrace into our lives. And whatever is not favorable for that, Hare Krishna, Radhe Radhe, or sometimes as our Gurudev would say, Pranam forever. Pranam forever. Okay, Radhe Radhe, Hare Krishna. It's not favorable, and I'll keep a distance from that thing. So, don't be hopeless. Don't ever be hopeless. Always remain in a state of increased greediness to serve and love Krishna. And if I'm not feeling it, then how can I feel that? We should be searching for that. How can I awaken that? If that is the root cause of the awakening of Krishna Bhakti Rasa in my life. What is the rasa? The ras means the taste of Krishna Bhakti. What is Krishna Bhakti? Serving Krishna for His happiness, benefit and pleasure. This ras, that is Krishna Bhakti Ras. Krishna Bhakti Rasa bhavitamati kriyatam yadikitopi labhyate tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam janma kotishu kritayana labhyate. If the root cause is this intense greed, how can I awaken that greed? Let me do whatever I can. Let me take shelter of Shastriya Sadhu Sangha. Let me take shelter of Harinam Prabhu. Let me serve Thakurji. Let me associate with sadhus, hear from them, serve them, follow their instructions, hear Srimad Bhagavatam, attend artis, do all things which are favorable for bhakti, go to Vrindavan Dham, be on parikrama, hear the glories of Krishna's pastimes in these places, bathe ourselves in the holy rivers, and also in places like Sudevi, which removes all aparads. Take advantage of whatever favorable thing is in our bhakti lives that will increase my thirst for serving Krishna. This is how we can apply that properly. If I don't have tilak now, let me cry for that dust. Let me pray for that dust. And you never know. Your neighbor might come by and drop it off at your doorstep. It could be. It may happen. If one is greedy for that substance, maybe you just need to develop a really strong headache. And some devotees will send you tilak. Krishna developed a strong headache and he also received that tilak. So we should actually develop this kind of mood, like Krishna did. Severe feeling of discomfort and pain. Why do I not have this substance? This substance which is the most powerful substance not only in this world, but in the entire creation. Yes, I need that. I need that. If I don't have it, how can I get it? I will make arrangements to receive that. And I will put that on my body. And I will remember. You know Gurudev? Most of us chant Om Keshavaya Namah. You know what Gurudev used to chant? Used to. Gurudev is always chanting. Tavayavasmi, Tavayavasmi, Najivami Tvayavina, Iti Vigyaya Radhe Tongnayamam Charanantike. While he would put on his tilak. Because this is our intention, our hope, our aspiration. Even this finger represents our intention. What is the intention? Tava eva asmi. Tavayavasmi. I am yours. I am yours. In life or in death. Najivami tvayabina. Iti vigyaya radhe tvam. I am supplicating myself. I belong to you, Srimati Radhika. I am offering myself at your lotus feet. Nayamam charanantikam. Charanantike. Very beautiful, deep moods. So now, I think there's been a few questions. Let me just look right from the beginning. So please forgive me if I made anyone feel hopeless. That is absolutely not my intention. And if I did so, that is due to my own lacking. Sri Guru always has a way of making everyone feel hopeful. But Kanguru, I'm not even Guru, I'm not even a kangaroo. I'm just doing the best, my honest endeavor. But because I'm still bound in this material world as a conditioned soul, I have a tendency to make mistakes, tendency to come under illusion, imperfect senses, the tendency to cheat others. These things are all playing within this conditioned nature, this body and mind. So it may be that I might accidentally from time to time leave someone feeling disenchanted or even hopeless. And if I have done that, please forgive me and just know that that is never my intention. Gurudev ordered us again and again and again to, quote unquote, inspire on my behalf. So if I have failed to do that, then I have failed to serve my Gurudev. So thank you for letting me know so that I can make a stronger endeavor to serve and please him. So, who wrote in the beginning? I think it was Radhika. I read a question in the beginning. Hold on. Question connected to yesterday's class. We heard from Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Maharaj How to associate with those who freely criticize. One thing he said is not to share your heart with them and not to hear them share their heart. I realize that I have a tendency to be very open-hearted with all. I tend to feel that everyone is trustworthy and will understand my mind and heart. I am learning that this tendency is not favorable for the growth of my own bhakti and those I associate with. However, I seem to not know how to associate without sharing my heart. This is the main question. If there is time, and we feel it's relevant, I'm also wondering what to do if I've already made this mistake and experienced an unfavorable outcome, because now it seems if I try to follow this instruction, the shift in my mood is obvious. I guess I just have no idea how to associate without being completely open. So, a few things about association. Srila Gurudev said association can either make you or break you. It is the most important thing. If you associate with sadhus, you will become saintly. If you associate with those who are asadhus or asat sangha, then you will become like that. And Gurudev gave the example of Narakasura, who is the son of Varahadev, the avatar of Vishnu, Varaha, and Bhumi Devi, Mother Earth, being the son of God, in this case, Varahadev. Due to bad association with personalities like Shishupala and Dantavakra, this son of Varahadev and Bhumi became subsequently known as Narak Asur. It literally means the demon from hell. Narak means hell, and Asur means demon, due to bad association. So I don't think that was his original name, but that became his nickname afterward. And he was the one who went and kidnapped all of the princesses from every kingdom in India, in the world, and kept them all within his mountain cave. And Krishna, Dwarkadish Krishna, killed this Narakasur and rescued all of these princesses. And they subsequently became his queens. Because they were staying in the cave under the subjugation of another, they were considered not acceptable. In Vedic times, like Srila, he actually left Sita in the forest because someone was complaining. What were they saying? Their wife came home very late. And they said, I'm not like Ram, who accepts his wife back after she's been with another. This is what was overheard. I'm not like Ram, who accepts his wife back after she's been with another. And so he wouldn't accept his wife back. When Sri Ram heard this, it broke his heart, but he is Maryada Purushottam, the Supreme Personality of following and establishing proper rules and regulations and etiquettes according to Shastra, which he cannot break. He has to be. That is his nature. Very clear. So he told Lakshman, take her and leave her in the forest. This broke Lakshman's heart also. From that time he decided, I'll never come back as the younger brother again. So he saw that he came back as Baladev, older brother, Nityananda Prabhu, older, senior. He didn't want to be the younger brother and have to carry out such an order, because he knew that Sita was completely spotlessly pure and transcendental, and that she could never do anything which was unfavorable to Ram. But anyhow, this is a different story. So, I'm coming back to your point. I don't know why I went there, but there was a reason for it. I'm sure I will realize it in a minute. It is not always appropriate to share your heart with everyone. Srila Prabhupada, he said, if we know something superior, then why should we accept the inferior thing? That is not intelligent. If we have superior knowledge of something, then don't accept the inferior. But more than that, if we are doing any practice of bhakti, if we're beginning to realize and experience something, if we just share it really openly, without being under guidance of Guru and Vaisnava, especially personal, deep, intimate realizations. Gurudev explained the realizations which come due to the practice of bhajan. We should keep it very, very carefully, closed in our heart, like camphor. If camphor is kept in a box and wrapped up, it will stay for a long time. But if you just open it, then due to the vapor, the humidity in the air, and the temperature, it will just evaporate and you will lose everything. So it is not appropriate to open one's heart freely and openly. Once I was feeling a lot of inspiration spiritually, a lot. And someone somehow read something which I had written, which wasn't meant for them. And they came back at me with a, kind of a snide, kind of dismissive thing about my spiritual sentiment. And really it felt like someone took a blowtorch to my sprouting, budding bhakti creeper. At least I felt that's what it was, but it seemed like a blowtorch, how tender that was. And my faith is being thrown in my face, like dismissed. And I think husbands and wives tend to do this from time to time because we see different sides of each other. And you'd be like, oh my God, you're not a good devotee anyway, I know about you. And then that little bit of inspiration was coming, it disappears. And then, well, I don't want to chant in front of them, I don't want them to see me doing anything, they're just going to criticize me. So you kind of just hide. That's why Gurudev told Sudevi that she should go into any closet where no other eyes can see her. That means not mine, not Subi's, not anyone's. Just herself, her Harinam Mala, Harinam Prabhu, and her Gurudev. And they're chanting Hare Krishna and weeping. Just for half an hour a day, but without anyone else judging you, just for that sacred space to be there. So it is not always appropriate. In fact, if you have any realizations or any deep thoughts or feelings, you should only share with those persons who are sajati ashray snigdha sangha. And not just that. Sajati ashray snigdha means very like-minded, very affectionate, and also who can help us. So someone like a Shiksha Guru, but not just for anyone. Someone that you really implicitly trust, who's not going to in the future turn and throw it in your face. It recently happened that someone tried to throw something in Sudevi's face, and they got the name of the person who told her the thing wrong. They got the exact activity, the exact instruction wrong, and they just threw it in her face in a public forum in a way that was just wrong, it was dismissive, and it was inappropriate. And we don't even know how it got to that person because Sudevi never told that person. But anyhow, it did. So these kinds of things, if someone, and interestingly enough, in this world, it is the nature of this world. Srimad Bhagavatam says, this world is like a raging river. I think it's the 11th canto. And the jivas in this world are like straws which are floating in this river. Not floating, being pulled in this river. And by providence, sometimes they come together. And then again they are separated. And we have seen this. Best friends can become worst enemies. And then they can become best friends again with a little bit of care. It happens all the time, and I'm sure most of us have experienced this. That person who you've trusted the most in this world, they might break your trust. That person you've shared the most of yourself with, later on you might hate them. And now they know every secret about you, and they will use it against you. So be very careful who you share your deepest, intimate heart's realization with. Not everyone is qualified to handle that. Not everyone is meant for it. Who was it? I read it the other day from Madhu Mangal. He shared a beautiful post, and it was a realization. He said, there is no Badha Jiva, no conditioned soul in this world who is actually qualified to be able to handle your heart. Only someone who is beyond material conditioning, who is beyond envy, who is beyond the tendency to criticize, who is beyond jealousy, who's completely 100% bound to the lotus feet of Krishna, for whom the material world holds no charm whatsoever. Only they are a suitable recipient for your full heart's trust. Otherwise, we stand every possibility of having it smashed in this world. And that's what Gurudev said. He said, everyone in this world, their hearts are like pots. And these pots have been smashed to pieces. And he said, I'm like a pot mender. I will fix it free of charge, and I will fill it with nectar. So, what is that smashing? Srila Gurudeva Maharaj said it in a very powerful way. That every endeavor we make for happiness, or for any kind of comfort in this material world, again and again, it is disappointed, disappointed, disappointed. We think it's all perfect, but even the best relationship of this world ends. One day, either with separation due to differences or separation due to death. Everything is disappointed. This is Martyalok. This is the realm of disappointment. It is the realm, the land of exploitation, as Srila Bhaktivedanta Srila Maharaj said. It is not the place for, as Srila Prabhupada said, it is not a place for gentlemen. That includes women, gentle persons. It is not a place for gentle people, for soft-hearted persons. This material world is not our home. This material world is like a prison. And we are in this prison, and we are bound and placed, put to work by the three modes of material energy. We're all subjugated. And we're all being, in essence, punished due to our own sinful reactions in so many millions of previous lives. So what treasure we have in our heart, we should keep it very carefully, Gurudev said. Very carefully. Don't share it openly. Otherwise you will feel, where is it? Where did it go? I have just flushed it down the toilet. Don't trust everyone. Don't share those intimate things with everyone. General things we can share, but those intimate, deep realizations, we should be very careful about. We can share the words of our Gurudev, we can share the words of Sadhu and Shastra, but our own individual, personal, intimate bhajan practice, that we should be very careful of sharing. You don't know any conditioned soul, they don't know how to handle it, they don't know how to treat it, and they can actually hurt you. So, be careful who you associate with and how you associate. Not all association is favorable, and even if it seems favorable, be very guarded on what extent we associate. It's not like a free-for-all. Sajati ashai snigdha. Who is like-minded means who has the same goal and the same path to follow. Who is affectionate to me? Who can help me? Who can continue to give me inspiration? And really, ultimately, who won't fall down? Who can say they won't fall down? Only someone who is transcendental. Our Gurudev said, you can trust me, I won't fall down. Srila Prabhupada said, you can place me in a room full of naked women and I won't be in the least disturbed. Most men can't say that. Not even into their 90s and 100s. Even if they're just there, any beautiful girl comes, they look and their heart jumps. Who can say these things? Only one who is permanently bound to the lotus feet of Krishna, who is drinking the nectar of Krishna Bhakti Ras, they can say these things, for whom the material world holds no charm whatsoever, because Brahmanupasamashrayam, fully absorbed 24 hours a day in their transcendental loving relationship with Krishna. Not one moment outside of that. Time is going. Okay, somehow I'm not able to go up further, but I see something. Obviously less comfortable with tilak on. I can see where you're going there, a good one. Wear tilak and stop the nonsense. You're right. That's another point. If you are wearing tilak, these days most people haven't been going outside, but before we used to go outside, if you're wearing tilak, you are keenly aware that you have something on your forehead. And if you forget, someone else will remind you. Hey, what's with the frosting? They will ask. Did you get paint on your head? Bird doo-doo? What is that? Oh, right. now I have a chance to speak about Krishna. So there's the positive effect and the other positive effect. I am constantly aware that I am representing my Gurudev, my Guru Varga, Krishna, the path of bhakti, Hare Krishna. So my character, my behavior should be appropriate. And most devotees notice, if you want to do nonsense activities, what's the first thing you do? And then you go to do your nonsense activities. That's proof that the nonsense activities are not favorable for bhakti, because you respect tilak too much to wear it when you're doing the nonsense activity, right? So if we have to rub it off for something, unless it's work or something like that, then that's understandable. But still you can have it on your body. You don't need to wash it off. You can rub it off and leave the dust everywhere. Leave it coating you. Whether you realize it and whether anyone else realizes it, that dust will affect you, and that dust will affect everyone else in your vicinity favorably for bhakti. So yeah, in most cases, I would say we don't have to take it off. We can wear it at home. We can wear it to the shop. We can wear it when we go on any trip. Or we don't, maybe can't wear it at work, but you can still wear it on your body, and you can dust it off in the morning before going to work. But anyhow, with most of us, we have our Thakurji or we have mantras from Guru, so one should be wearing tilak at that time. Sudevi, if we come for Kartik, will you take us on parikrama?
I've already answered that.
Oh, sorry. Whoa, yes. I guess we're going to go on parikrama. How do you go? Regarding the question, is it true that Krishna created Purushottam Mas to kill Hiranyakashipu? I don't know, but it could be because he was not killed in any month. So there had to be a leap month that he was killed in. He was not killed in any day either, so it was a leap day, and nor any year. So it was also leap year. Oops. I've not heard that he created Purushottam Mas for that purpose. Okay. It feels like I'm not able to get all the comments. I don't know why.
After a certain point, it doesn't show.
Oh. So I'm not able to see. Maybe I have to go back. Sorry, there were some important questions I saw. Hold on. There we are. I don't know how this works.
It's late.
A minute. Couple more. Please forgive me, I didn't read anything from this book today, but because some devotees had mentioned something, I felt I needed to address it. Oh, I can see the comments. Ooh, 75 comments. Yeah, somehow I'm not able to see them. Please forgive me. I know that you had some, but I can't see anymore. So I will look over those comments afterward, and I will do my best to address them tomorrow, or even on this post afterward. So today was very beautiful discussion of the remembrance and the benefit and the power of and the special kathas relating to this most auspicious substance which we know as tilak, but it is actually the dust of the feet of the gopis. So we should always pray to that dust. Chintamani prakarasatmasu kalpavriksha. Everything, every particle of dust of Vrindavan is Chintamani. Means it has the power to grant any desire, but it can also grant us Krishna Prem. As Gurudev said, it has the potency to engender greed, intense desire to serve Krishna. So we place our head in the dust everywhere in Vrindavan, offer pranam in that place, and we pray to that dust to please awaken and manifest those pastimes of Krishna in our hearts. And we pray to that dust to also please awaken greed to serve Krishna within our hearts in the wake, following in the footsteps of the gopis. So, just to speak about this dust is extremely auspicious and greatly hopeful. If we cannot get it directly, place our heads on a picture, the feet of any pure devotee, pray to them to be merciful, and then continue with our practices of bhakti. We should never stop, we should never be hopeless, we should try to be strong, and we should at all costs always try to, by hook or by crook, somehow get a hold of that foot dust, and every day make it a point to place it on our bodies, and just remember, it is a sign of great pride, not for ourselves, for our Swamini. Great pride. I'm wearing this as a victory flag of the gopis, and especially Srimati Radhika over all others. I once heard from one devotee. You know, many devotees have their story about how they came to Krishna. Many devotees. Many, they've come to Krishna because the prasadam. Did you taste the prasadam? Many came, wow, that philosophy was amazing. Many came just because those guys were so crazy. I mean, they're like bald people jumping up and down on the streets, and I wanted to be part of them. Some people liked the kirtan. So many were just spontaneously attracted to the pure devotion of Srila Prabhupada as he was calling out in the park. And people began dancing around him. And some people came because of the tilak. One devotee told us, he said, I saw the devotees and they were interesting, but then I saw they were wearing gold on their foreheads. They were wearing gold, and I had to follow them back to wherever they were going. He saw tilak glowing like gold, and he followed them. And by that, he received the mercy of Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj and Srila Gurudev and Vaisnavas. Just by seeing they're wearing gold on their foreheads. It's such an attractive thing. The foot dust of the gopis. So powerful. And we can never estimate how powerful it really is. To this day, Krishna is still trying to estimate how powerful it is. To this day. Krishna, what to speak of us, Vibhinam Sajivas. But anyhow, if we don't know how powerful it is, all we can know is it's much, 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 much more powerful than any of our disqualifications. Billions and trillions of times more powerful. So, if I'm feeling disqualified, if I'm feeling hopeless, if I'm feeling no desire in bhakti, take shelter of that substance. Put it on every day, 2 or 3 times a day. Wear it with pride. I am in the family of my Gurudev. I am representing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I am representing Radha and Krishna. I am wearing this victory flag of Srimati Radhika. So, Rishabhananandini Srimati Radharani ki jai. Shri Vrindavan Chandra Krishna Chandra ki jai. Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. Shri Guru Parampara ki jai. Shri Gurudeva ki jai. All Vaishnavas ki jai. I know I went the other way around, but somehow it came that way. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Who put that heart? Sudevi? Oh, sorry. Please forgive me that I couldn't answer your other questions. I saw that there were some good questions there, and somehow I'm not able to access them at this moment, but I am eager to get to them, and now time is up, so we will answer your questions tomorrow. And once again, please forgive me if I left any of you feeling a bit hopeless. That would be due to my own fault at not being able to present properly. But please know that you should always be hopeful, and especially you should always be greedy for the dust of the feet of the pure devotees. So, that transcendental foot dust, ki jai. Hare Srila Gurudev ki jai, Pati Pavan Shri Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Prem Purushottam Sachidananda Gaur Hari ki jai, Radha Bihari ki jai, Radha Baladev ki jai, Didi Maharaja ki jai, Hari Ram Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai, Gaur Bhaktivedanta ki jai, Vidhari Gaur Premanande Hari So thank you very much for being with us today and for asking your beautiful questions and even for sharing your concerns about not having tilak previously, for engaging us in the opportunity to remember the beautiful teachings of our Gurudev and our Guru Varga, and for just giving us life, for engaging us in this seva. Gurudev told us that this is what we should do even after I am no longer on this sphere. So thank you for engaging us in serving our Gurudev. We look forward to being with all of you tomorrow. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat
Radhe
Pranam.
Radhe.